Welcome to Bitcraft Online Week 8 Progress Update. Getting right into it with equipment. No new changes currently, but you will see in the video I will actually buy a helmet. Was planning to show off a fancy new scholar outfit for you guys, but they adjusted the achievement system, so I gained 13 levels on that to bring it to 40. But I did not finish the achievements to actually get the outfit. The achievements are kind of just annoying because they're not consistent across all the professions. Skills, still not doing any turn-ins, so nothing has changed as usual. Going on into our market sales, shouldn't have a whole lot of items. Pretty much just created a whole lot of parchment from bark that I had. Scholar is like the easiest skill just because the craft times for each project are insane with how much you can do with bark. I was getting roughly like 70,000 to 100,000 effort projects between tier 1 to tier 3 bark. So that 40k plus hex coins pretty much was all timber that I already had in the marketplace. The parchment sold for pretty much crap. It doesn't make you any money. So that is one of the drawbacks of doing scholar is the parchment does not sell for much at all. All right, so now one of the big changes, it's a empire change actually. You may have noticed that the cape isn't the good old blue one that we had from Jackals of the Coast. We actually merged with Ludenia or Ludens. We are now part of the Veltrassan Federation. Haven't been paying too much to the Discord, so kind of popped around through there and kind of looked up some information. Guess that happened about midweek of last week. The idea is to get the entire continent into one grouping so that when guild wars or PvP type dungeons do occur, it makes it a lot easier. As you can see, BlankBlue is the new leader as we merged into them. And then Mr. Fister, Booba, and Little John are high ranking, I guess, officers within the organization. I did my 1,000 gem contribution just to make sure that I look like I'm participating. So this top section here was owned pretty much between all of Port Jackal and Ludenia. As you can see, it's this entire like gray area, and you can see we have these smaller empire groupings just kind of scattered all around. Ideally, they're gonna go and make them merge, or at least try to get them to merge in, so it's just one giant piece, which it'd look pretty cool. Me personally, I really doubt that we're gonna be able to fully take over everyone, just because how people are. You can't force people to commit or force merge into the empire. I did see that they were able to grab Greed Island to merge into them already as well. So in total, I believe that's 3 different empires that have merged into Ludens. What does that mean for me? Honestly, it doesn't change much for me. Doesn't really do anything. I don't have a home built over here in Port Jackal. I mean, the only thing that's kind of keeping me here is I have a gigantic bank full of crap. But other than that, I could easily just go start working on in that new town of what is it, Ludens, if that's still the capital that they're calling it over there. The developers haven't created any form of like incentive type item yet for people to stick within a certain city. So until they do something like that, you're pretty much free to roam or do whatever you want. But since we are in a new empire, we're going to go ahead and check out what the capital is of what was Ludenia. But before we do that, just give you a quick little look at the bank. Pretty much same stuff, just a ton of logs. All the bark is pretty much gone, as you can see from the top left. Utilized almost all of that to pump out to level 40 Scholar. We are going to go check out Ludenia, though. It is still the same city name, which is nice. Port Jackal and Ludenia were pretty much the same size, roughly, last time I was there, roughly 2 weeks ago. So you would expect, being the newfound capital of the Veltrassan Federation, that this thing's going to be massive, which I'm assuming it is. Just teleporting in, they did change a lot of the aesthetic of this place. It does look nice. It's fully forested in where you teleport. Looks nice and cozy. It does, just initially looking at it, looks pretty damn massive. Going to just do a quick little run around, check out what everything looks like. They do have almost double of all the crafting stations compared to Port Jackal. I do like how they have all the vendors in roughly the same place rather than having to run around trying to drop off all your crap against all the different vendors to complete tasks. But that's not how they do it at Port Jackal. I mean, they roughly have half the vendors in roughly the same place, but maybe that's why I quit doing tasks, because I had to just keep running around the city like I don't know where the hell I am. They are very well organized, though. I will give them that. All of their stuff is in actual straight lines rather than just kind of. I feel like Port Jackal tried to consolidate into certain areas rather than just doing straight lines of items. I mean, gives a different aspect of like the type of environment, which is nice. But from like if you're just trying to just grind out and progress perspective, it's kind of annoying. Gonna give you a quick little accelerated run through the rest of the town. All right, their market does look pretty competitive in comparison to Port Jackal. Roughly about the same items. We do actually end up finding a cloth helmet here, which we end up buying. For the most part, all the gear that we've been buying that's rare, that has been tier 5 or higher, has been roughly the 20 to 30K range. So I felt pretty comfortable buying this hat. I mean, it's not the biggest stat boost overall, but I still need to get pants. That would probably be a better item if I could get like a rare tier 5, but yeah, get what you can get, and this is the only thing I've actually seen on the market lately. I have not seen anything worthwhile. Do end up making the purchase. It's roughly about a 1% increase in crafting build speed and then 9 stamina total. I personally think it's a worthwhile purchase. I really dislike the upgrade system. They did create a new method where you can share the item as a project on wherever you're getting it built. So, like at the smithy, if you can put your tool in there, start the craft by just having the materials and list it as a item to have help with, and reduce the possibility of getting scammed, which is nice. This is one big difference in comparison to Port Jackal is this gigantic mansion of a house in their housing district. Actually looks like a true housing district. What I'm looking for right now is to actually see. I was expecting that giant house to be where the leader is, the BlankBlue, and I didn't find him. So I started checking all these little houses out and didn't find him in any of these homes either. And you would be pleasantly surprised at the home we end up do finding for him. Jumped the speed up quite a bit. Couldn't find his house at all. I was treasure hunting for this man. Lo and behold, this is Blank Blue's house. Just a little hovel over here, a little tent pretty much set up, and he just has a cabinet for the most part. I was expecting a lot more, being the new Empire leader, but I guess man don't care about his own home. I guess the whole empire is his home. We're gonna go ahead and jump on over to Little John's home, our prior emperor leader, just to see the comparison and differences. As you can see, our boy Little John, he's all about his crib. All jokes aside, doesn't really affect me. I really don't care. All right, getting back into achievements and the new annoying process that I did not know about. So I would have had the outfit for Scholar, but now they make you do all these little miniature tasks in between rather than just having the level. Do I see why the devs did it? Yeah, it makes sense to at least fully experience the skill or have knowledge of the skill rather than just being that level. Personally, I don't really care about learning for the skill because there's nothing that it would actually do for me. I just thought it was really easy to level, so that's why I did it. The outfit looks kind of buns anyways, so I doubt I'll finish all those challenges. The nice thing is though, you can buy those items and you don't actually have to craft them yourself. The problem is though, with Scholar, not a lot of those items are actually sold, and there's so many different items in comparison to all the other professions. Whereas, like with carpentry, you make a plank, you make a timber, you're done. Scholar, there's like 9 different items on the list. Same thing with, let's say, good old smithing or tailoring. You just have to go ahead and make some outfits. Not even make the outfits, you just got to make cloth strips or string, cloth bolts. It's pretty silly in comparison. But that's it for my rant on the new changes to achievements. I guess it is good for the game to have in place so that you can learn the skill fully. Scholar is just busted. Worst one to try out first just because there's too much crap. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully, we'll have a new outfit for you next week.